Phil's trying to help me out with this. And am I still streaming? No, because you just changed the stream. Oh, brother. Oh, I screwed up again. It's okay. Okay, don't give yourself an ulcer. All right. First of all, what do you want to change? I want to do what you did with the subscriber mode. All right, and that's what I was trying to do. Okay, so you're gonna go to live. Yeah, you're gonna go to settings. You're gonna go to edit. Uh huh. And you're gonna go to customization. Uh huh. And you're gonna go to subscribers. Yeah. You said hit any duration. Hit save. All right. So what about the stream that was a giant dud? Well, the one that was a giant dud, you can delete that one. What if it kills the stream we're on now? What? Zero content? I wouldn't worry about zero content stream. Just delete it. It's not gonna matter. All right, so now we're on the right channel. Yes. Okay. And I see one red work is here. Red work. Yeah, red is here. Okay. And now we're gonna go back over to the couch. We're gonna go back over to the couch. Put the camera back in the stand. And on your phone, you're gonna go, or on the tablet, you're gonna go back over and you're gonna find that live link. After you update the page, it'll show it to you. All right. Okay, just like don't hit anybody if you don't want to press. Well, you're not helping. Oh, you are, but you. Okay. You got your camera. Yeah, you do. All right. Okay. So that's on. Yep. And the heck is this? This tablet is as slow as a constipated cow. Okay. Yep, that was me. I removed it. Okay, now, so go back. Go back again. All right, go to me. Yep. Now, new channel. Uh huh. Here we are. Oh, okay, good. All right, so now I can read the chat. All right, so everybody, welcome. Sorry about.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry about that. I don't really know all this stuff that well. I just know a little bit about it. Michelle helps me out with some of the more advanced stuff. So we're using the tablet here, and I'm gonna. Oh, this is for all messages. Absolutely. Okay. So hit all. There we go. And we're all set. There's the camera. Okay. Right here, camera. How you doing, camera? No, just go and me should tap live. Why? Because oh, that's better. Yeah, I'll show the full screen. You can see the whole picture, but then I can't see the chat. Right. All right. So let's just get to business, shall we? First of all, welcome everybody to the channel. My first ever attempt at live vertical stream. Oh, maybe not the first. I think I did one more in the past, and I had similar results of mediocre returns. I think the reason I have problems is because I have been not streaming a lot, and the fact is that there's been a lot of shadow banning on YouTube. My channel does stream, but we don't normally get a lot of content in. And personally, I think Michelle, the other camera is a little too high. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yes, it is a little high. Because you should. Can we bring it back further? Absolutely, we can bring it back further. At least then it'll kind of make it look like you're a little lower down to a little perspective. And don't get too much in the telephoto because, oh, okay, that's better, yeah. Because those last ones, like, now you might want to zoom in this picture. There you go. Use a good rule of thumb is the I love you bears. Yeah, okay. Straight up. You mean like that? Oh, no, you don't need the picture. You kind of do, but you don't. This won't be so begetting. All right. So anyway, sorry about all the testing and mulligans and everything like that. And what about my chat? You closed it. Oh, it's on the bottom screen. Okay. So I wonder if you use the magnifying glass and reading the tablet. We try using Zoom text. It doesn't necessarily work any better. You're too far over this way, little. So I'm staying straight in the cushion. Oh yeah. Okay, so move pan the camera a little bit over to the so in which the white kitty is not in frame, and then you'll be fine. I think I'll be okay. I just not gonna be right in frame. Square or zoom out a little bit. Fine, I'll zoom out a little bit. Technology's a pain in the ass. Better, a little more. All right, that's better. The only thing that worked right out of the box is the microphone I'm wearing. Sorry, it's true. The microphone was the only thing that worked right out of the box. Camera worked too. Oh, okay. You can zoom the tablet. Well, I'm too small. That's okay. It's okay. No, shut up. We're not discussing. We're just people. People. We're just people. Yeah. Okay, so me and Michelle and Carmen and Lumi, which is me, of course. Lumi It's me, Michelle, Carmen. We're having a nice talk this morning about different things. And we talked about some of the Democrats' reaction video of Connecticut and New Jersey done by Nick Johnson, and how some of the Democrats were were a little bit post mortem sad that the candidate didn't win. However, it was kind of interesting because even she said she would never have voted for Kamala Harris if she was still able to vote, because the fact was she saw Kamala Harris as a terrible example for the party. And I thought that was very interesting because you would think that, she would be supporting the Democratic Party, but hardcore. But she said, talking to the other spirits of other actors and actresses that passed on, they all kind of agreed that Kamala Harris, first of all, she was appointed. She wasn't elected by proper primary votes. And because of that reason, a lot of the people really kind of felt edgy about her even being in the candidacy option for being president of the United States. So she also said that even though Michelle and Gitchy and Tiger Kitty said that they would back away from having her on her shows, we never made that promise on my show. I still think it would be wonderful to have Carmen on the show on another day, not today. Also, she said Michelle has worked a lot on her voice a lot and made it sound closer to what she really sounds like. Unfortunately, she says sometimes some of her own vocal patterns or seem to be influencing Michelle's vocal patterns because Michelle is such a voice mimic. If you ever listen to all the acting that Michelle does, all the voice skills she has, it would make sense that yes, Michelle does pick up a lot of Carmen's voice accents and stuff. That's because to learn her accent, she needs to be able to get those sounds in and understand and pronounce them correctly. Unfortunately, the problem is Michelle has so many teeth. We all know that. And these teeth result in certain sounds that sound kind of messed up. Now, Michelle is on a waiting list to find a dentist. But at this point, her dental clinic has no openings in the dental section. No, they don't. So Michelle is going to go for partials. Like she has the same idea but professionally crafted because they're easy to clean. They pop them out, you clean them, you pop them in, and that works out great for Michelle. And I think it's a great tool, and it should be something that should be considered. Molasses Cookie says, "Oh, I see Carmen can't be on Michelle's channel, but well, technically she could be on Michelle's channel. Um, but I'm going to want to cover some things. I haven't had a show for 2 weeks, and so I want to try to cover up a lot of things that we didn't cover in 2 weeks. Okay. Um, the next thing was the Maryland trip. Was fascinating. I like meeting Sherry Jackson. I don't remember if I talked to her much. You didn't. Oh, no, I didn't. Right. Which is kind of interesting because I'm usually pretty outspoken people. For some reason, you clammed right up. I don't know why Lumi didn't talk to Sherry much or to Slingshot Warrior, but she didn't. She just stayed to herself, passively watching, doing a Michelle. Doing a Michelle. Michelle is also doing a Michelle at first. Yes, absolutely. Um, But it was a great trip, and I did enjoy observing, meeting John Camillo on the way home. I thought that was nice that he was able to sit down with you and him and Noodles and talk, even though I didn't say much to John Camillo either. Is there any reason why you didn't talk much? No, I just didn't feel like getting adding a whole nother layer to the cake, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. You didn't want to get. I mean, but Slingshot already knows you. Yeah, John Camillo knows you. Yes, Sherry Jackson knows you. Yes, but yeah, you and I did talk, Sherry, very briefly. The truth was, mostly it was you wanted to talk about Carmen, and that's why I kind of felt that adding another layer to the mix would only make things more complicated for everybody. Yeah, it would have made things more complicated. You're right about that. But let's get this channel to grow a little bit, guys. This is my channel. Um, no, not really. Michelle's hair, she had to redo the ears, and like she does them once a week. And so actually, she has been fighting with the technology, and the technology won. I bought the phone, and the phone won. It's the truth. The phone won because Michelle was trying to get my show on, and I was like, as I wanted to do it on her phone on the couch, and she's like, "Okay, uh, that should be easy enough." Or log in as you, she said. You log in. Then we had to authenticate. Then we started the first stream. Then the first stream kept breaking down for some reason. Kept saying couldn't find the video. And we're like, what video? We're not asking you to do a video. Set the tablet up. Then we had to set the phone up. Both times we had to go to the LG Aristo to verify our PIN. We came. Then I went to the computer and tried to set up a subscriber only mode. It's like Michelle does. Cause I wanted to try it because I want to try to grow my channel. But unfortunately, like an illegal, I can't get a monetized channel. So it kind of sucked because I really wanted to do more than this. You got to reconnect again. Oh, God. You got to be kidding me. No, they're connected. Oh, okay. But for some reason, the tablet is giving me the. Okay. Well, we're still connected? We're still connected. No, Karma's not messing with the signal. Screws. It's all hardware. It's all screws and nuts and bolts on Michelle's projects. She always looks for screws and stuff on the table. It's just hardware. But the pills that were in here originally was the niacin, and this would have been the levothyroxine. It sounds like two maracas. Yeah, that's getting cool. A little bit loud. Not if you're outside doing carnival in Brazil, it wouldn't be. Um, they do the same thing with old bottles too. Yeah, well, I figured might as well recycle them, right? Use it, reduce, reuse, recycle. Shut up, Curtis Bacon. Chris Bacon. Chris Bacon. Such a pie hole. Um, the first thing, okay, let's get back to the main thing, is that we know Michelle has a very interesting life with language. And we know Michelle loves messing around with language. In Carmen, some of Carmen's linguistic nature has rubbed off on Michelle. But Michelle has always said banana. Michelle has always said aluminium. Michelle has always said those words are the way she says them. It's the way she said them for over 40 years. So therefore, that's not the idiom to Carmen. But the talking slower with a little bit of a melodic voice, that is Carmenistic. I kind of like that sound, actually. Yeah, I know you do. I, I don't know why I did that. It just works. It works, but people that are long here a long time are going, oh, the sing song nature is Michelle drunk. Michelle's not drunk. She hasn't been drinking in days. No, we did talk to Kirby about that too. We talked about what she thinks about people accusing you of drinking. Um, she's like, Michelle doesn't drink to that level of excess where she's going to have a problem at this time. But not to say that Michelle could not develop a problem, but as long as she's aware as an adult of how much she's drinking, she should be fine. The problem is that Michelle's family are almost all predisposed alcoholics. And so it's very easy for Michelle to fall down into that abyss at the bottom of a wine bottle. Okay. And I worry about that too because I don't want to see Michelle get to that point where her whole mind is a bottle of wine and some Patsy Cline. That was a lesbian song. Bottle of wine and Patsy Cline. Yeah, I forgot who sang that, but that was a good song. Heartbreaks that Patsy Cline sang about had to do. It really did kind of work with a bottle of wine. Me too. But the only thing is I don't want you to get there. Yeah. Um. No. 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 No, Chris. Far from it. Michelle bought the wine for Slingshot Warrior's birthday party. And what happened was, because Slingshot Warrior wanted to drink hard stuff, and Michelle doesn't like hard stuff. And so she decided that she would bring to the party for everyone something a little bit less hard, um, because some people may not want to drink the really hard stuff. Well, unfortunately, because it wasn't something that's more common in America like beer, which Michelle hates. I hate beer. She no one really touched the wine much, and so $16 that she spent on a wine. She said to Slingshot Warrior, she says, "Do you want the wine?" And he said, "Nah, I don't drink wine." He said, "Why don't you take it home?" And Michelle said, "Okay." So she did. So she took it home. So it was sitting in the refrigerator. So a couple days last week was crazy, and Michelle really kind of needed something to kind of calm her mind and get some sleep because everybody got so keyed up about Carmen that on Tuesday, so she had 2 coffee cups of wine. Those were about 11 ounces, which is about so total 4 wine glasses, which are 5-ounce cups. Okay, I don't know why wine a cup is considered 5 ounces, whereas if you drink a milk or bake, uh, a cup is 8 ounces. But that's what they measure it by. So 2 coffee cups of wine, and Michelle was feeling pretty groovy for the most part. Calmed down a lot. Finally, kind of felt, kind of dozed off, fell asleep. Woke up the next day. Something that comedy flu could probably relate to. Um, and tried, just started another day on Wednesday morning. And, and that's what happened. And all of a sudden, everybody's thinking she's drinking wine every night. That's not the case. She doesn't buy wine that much at all. Um, she likes it, but she doesn't buy a lot of it. She said she liked wine before. At first, it took her a while to get used to the taste of the alcohol, but once you got used to the taste of the alcohol, it didn't bother her anymore. To her now, it tastes just good. Um, you're weak. Who's weak? Boxed wine and cheese, canned cheese. How about boxed wine and fresh cheese? Good idea. Boxed wine and fresh cheese. Absolutely, why not? All messages. Do you really want to see all the messages? Yeah. Okay. Michelle's not weak. I'm not weak. Um, the other thing is, let's talk about the fact. It's my turn to talk about this. What do I think of Carmen, and why do Carmen explained why she temporarily changed her story. She was trying to take a bullet for Michelle, so to speak. She was accused of not being the real Carmen Miranda. So she made up a story to tell Michelle, to tell the audience, that she was another one named Carmelita Maria. She said it's totally not a true story at all. It's all made up. Is she wanted to do that to get the heat off of Michelle. Because she was like, I feel bad having to deny myself. She said, however, the fact is, I was thinking that maybe if we said it was somebody else, that they would leave you alone. And that's why she said that. But she said, I really don't like lying about that. Now, she was very clear about that. She didn't want to do that. And she was like, I would like to make it right somehow. And I told her, and you did too, just relax, Carmen. It's not the end of the world. You're gonna have to go through 10 years of bullshit that Lumi went through before they'll recognize you as a friend, a companion, a visiting companion, because she has other clients. She doesn't just work with me and Lumi, and so she doesn't have the ability to be here all the time. No, no. Sometimes she does come though, and she will talk to us when she gets a break. Um, she can bilocate the same as a lot of people on the other side can. I'm not sure exactly how bilocating works. Think of it this way: you can be two places at once, thus bilocating. Okay, um, which is something a lot of the spiritual realm can do. A lot, implying what that some can't. Well, some can't, but then others can do more than two locations. Mother God can do three. Okay, but that makes sense of Mother God because she's. All right, next question. Let's talk about the Trinity. Boy, you really want to put a lightning right on my channel today, don't you? the Trinity. And also, let's talk about my mental illnesses. I think we'll do the mental illness first because I think that's more important. Um, does Michelle have mental illness? Yes. Is it dissociative identity disorder? No. It's anxiety. It's um, PTSD. It's not severe yet, but if she keeps getting stuck with those bad trolls, it's going to get worse. Michelle takes care of her own home. I work with her on that. We clean the cat box. Okay, sometimes we don't do it every day, but we do check it. Okay, and Michelle's been doing all these morning shows and night shows. And by the way, we had an excellent night show, low anxiety yesterday. Yay! You did fine last night. Thank you. Um, Grinch, we already trying to get a therapist. I already told you that they told us that the Torrington branch is full. There's no available therapist. The Winston branch is full. No therapist. Um, we do know about this cerebral organization and the other one there called um, help something, mental help, which is also an option, um, along with cerebral. So there is a few. One cerebral was suggested by Gemini Gem. I haven't checked it out yet. I gotta get to that. We'll also have the Silver Moon show today too. Yep, and so we're gonna be covering a lot of different things on the show. What do I got on the table? Well, we have a microphone that's not plugged in right now because um, Michelle had to move the cord out of the way when she was dancing. We have another Bluetooth headset with it's just a one ear one that's Bluetooth. Okay. We have our screws. We have turntable cartridge parts for static. We have a cheap Obama phone from Ed, a cigarette lighter, a EPAC case for the Bluetooth I'm wearing right now, the iPhone, Michelle's iPhone 4S, the document from a letter, yeah, you know, from the insurance company, a tiny pair of spring-loaded pliers, and a magazine called Dance. So I mean, to clean this table, it's getting covered with dust. It is. Um, just rattle everything. What did Europhobia become a problem? What? Neutral. Got air fresheners in here. Well, what the hell is that? I have no idea. No, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that is. Why didn't you just mention anything about urinary tracts? Michelle and Lemmy, how you doing that? How you doing? However, we also Me and Michelle also talked in the bathroom about another type of situation with two souls in one body that is associated with DID, the dissociative identity disorder. And we mentioned that because, and Carmen was talking to us about it, because there are people that do have two souls, that they never met each other and they're in the same body. Now, we're going to talk about DID as well, but we'll just talk about this for the week. These are the men and women that can change personalities like a flip of a switch. They suffer from lapse of time. They have no idea what happens. For example, we could go be recognized, say 3 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. The next thing you know it's 2 o'clock Wednesday evening. And then they're going, what the hell I do from 3 to 2? And that may be when the other soul takes over. This is a dissociative identity disorder because that person has no idea. There's no log, there's no file, there's nothing to prove what they did. You can simulate this by drinking lots and lots and lots of wine or beer or hard liquor, and you could basically knock yourself flat on your ass. And then the drunken you comes out, and it does the same thing. But you may not remember what the drunken you did because your brain is all messed up. This is that's simulating DID. But in those cases, a therapist, unless the person has trauma, which is another form of DID, why it even creates that, is that they want to provide a protection or a cocoon, a shell around them, a wall around something that caused them to have such severe trauma, usually childhood trauma, that they need to be shielded. Okay, but in the case of two soul version, it's not because of trauma. It's just because the body was designed for two, but they never got to know each other. Okay, it's like a day shift versus night shift person. In other words, one is day shift, for this example, one is night shift. So the night shift, when he goes to sleep, the day shift wakes up and takes over. How would be best way for the sale called two people to communicate? They both have to find a way and agree on relieving notes for each other so that they know what's going on. Then the first thing they need to do is introduce themselves. So let's say, for example, the night shift person, for this example, leaves a message on the kitchen table, hoping that the day shift one's going to read it. And let's say the person at least knows something about them and says, "Hi, I was at the party last night. It was a good party. I hope that you will um, be willing to talk to me." And so just leave a message on the table. The day shift person will be like, "What? Who is this? Who left this message? It don't look like my handwriting. It don't look like. How would it get in my house?" It would be very confusing at first. Absolutely, I would agree. Be very. That's a dissociative identity disorder. We're not like that because we know everything everybody's doing. We all keep our consciousness, so we all can share notes and discuss things together. Now you got to admit that that form of dissociative identity disorder, which is not caused by trauma, is going to be one of how do I reach to that person that the other person doesn't even know who they are. Is a therapy a good thing for that person? Yeah, if they can get it. Because that's the problem right now is that there's a shortage of therapists. There really is. In where we live, if you have that kind of DID, yeah, therapy is important. It's going to be useful if you can get it. And that's why, again, if online therapy may be an option, but therapy is so expensive. Now, if Michelle's channel continues to explode like a bomb, like it is, she could afford to sign up for something and pay like $100 a month, and it wouldn't affect her revenue. But if my channel is not monetized, so I don't really benefit from doing vertical or portrait or landscape. I really don't because there's nothing for you here to hear from me. Don't keep. Oh, that's different. Michelle, you want to talk about your mother? My my mother and I really do not talk to each other. We do both have phone numbers for each other. We know how to reach each other. But for some reason, my mother and I are not talking to one another. Now, it's not because I'm mad at her, and I don't think it's because she's mad at me. I think it's just we kind of mutually kind of agreed that it's best to stay away from each other, if that makes any sense. That has nothing to do with Carmen. Carmen doesn't want us to stay apart, but she doesn't want to force her way in and say, you will connect. She knows she knows the story. She knows what happened, as do I, as does Lumi. And so it's sad during the holidays coming up that we have this kind of a family estrangement, but it's not because I have not refused to talk to my mother. I have tried. My mother and I do try to talk a little bit, but the relationship is extremely strained and it's very difficult. And there's no other way to explain it. Nah, it just is. It just is, guys. That's all it is. Um, so I've done that, Grinch. I have left the messages. No, I'm not MJ. Well, remember what I said. Michelle has not been drinking at all. And I really am growing concerned that you are now blaming Carmen for Michelle for drinking when Michelle is fully adult and capable of getting blasted on her own. Okay? So do me a favor and look this up. Michelle is, is 56 years old. 56-year-old, I believe, in the United States is of legal drinking age. This is not something Michelle is new at doing. She was drinking a little bit before Carmen even worked with us. So do me a favor and stop blaming Carmen on Michelle's choice of drinking alcohol because that's not fair to Carmen. No, it's not. It's not fair to Carmen at all. Oh, and even though she deliberately threw right off the ship by calling herself Carmelita Maria. Her name is really her birth name really is Maria. Yeah, that's true. Her real name is Maria. Carmen was just the nickname that her family gave her many, many years ago. She just kept it. It's just like me and Michelle. My legal name was Annette was Lorena Annette Finistra. And yet Michelle called me Lumi Anne Finistra because she met me at her kitchen window in 1973. Okay, she now knows my real name. Yes, and I said she can call me whatever she wants. I do like Lumi better because I am the one of enlightenment. I help Michelle. I'm her spouse. Okay, that's a very important thing. The same thing with Carmen. Michelle thought it was Carmen. That's what Carmen told her to tell her that. Everybody that. But Michelle ain't stupid. Okay. And Carmen later said to her, you know why I said you to tell that alibi? Was because I want to get red off your back. I took a bullet for you. I I I lied him up myself so that you could get a break from red. And I hate myself for it. And Michelle said, that's okay. You know, we know the reason. Um, she said, these people can be very cruel on YouTube. I never realized how cruel some of these people can be. I don't know how you deal with it. When I was alive, and the paparazzi were nothing like this. The different magazines, the tabloids were making up stories, but they were doing nothing like they're doing to you. These people are voracious. I don't even know if I would ever have the nerve to do a YouTube channel if I could. So, I have a tiny channel and my personal experience is that you have to almost have asbestos underwear and asbestos clothing because they're going to roast you so bad that you cannot even begin to understand how much it hurts you. Carmen's native name, before she changed it to her stage name of Carmen Miranda, was Maria. Maria is her birth name on her Portuguese birth certificate. Do you understand what I'm putting down, or are you totally stupid? I think they're stupid. I think they're stupid. You tell them something, and then they're like, oh, it's like the man who calls himself Prince. All right, we don't know his real name, do we? Oh, maybe some might. I don't. He's known as Prince, right? So he has a stage name. Her father gave Carmen as a child. She was known as Carmen, and he suggested she go by the name Carmen Miranda because he wanted to keep the Kuha family name out of the acting business. Do you understand now? I get it. Yeah, I know you do, but do they get it? That's the question. I don't know. Um, as the king of South Africa, I'm not drinking Chris Bacon. The Kuha, the Koha family, Cuha, Kunha. I says Kunha. Cunha, Kunha. It's a Portuguese family. They moved to Rio de Janeiro when Carmen was 8 months old. So around 1910, they moved to Rio. Okay, that's the truth. Her and her mother went to Rio. Her father was already in Rio at the time with her older siblings. Go fuck yourself, asshole. You know, I don't even know who you are, but I really don't like you, Chris. I'm not trying to be mean to anyone, but what I'm saying is that you're accusing Michelle of drinking alcohol when she doesn't. Michelle has said over and over again she did not drink today. No, I just had two bowls of honey nut Cheerios. That's it. And a coffee, and which I'm drinking right now. That's my hand. Whatever. I'm drinking it. You can, well, we both can drink it. Ready? There you go. Now, I'm trying to tell you something. And Michelle's trying to tell you something. I will just, where's my mods? Well, Nats is there. Yeah, mods. And that includes you, Red. Please help us keep an eye on things. Well, I'm not drinking. Well, you know what? It might be it's the microphone. It's not, and this is Lumi, not Michelle. Yeah, this is the microphone we're using right now. So maybe it may sound like we're drinking because it's too close to our chest. Well, let's put it a little further away. Let's put it on the table. It's not a chest microphone anyway. No, it's not. It just happens to be um a very effective microphone. It is good for a chest microphone. It's a little Bluetooth microphone with a little headset connector. Sometimes these are used for people using them on their car, so they can hang the mic on a. Well, obviously this clip is too small for a visor, so probably would stick it on some clothes or something. You plug in your headset here, and you got your little buttons on the front for the volume up, down, play, pause, forward, backwards. Yeah, and that's what it does. So it works pretty well. No, really, it's just well, it's because we're using Michelle's phone. That's why. But it's just no. It's the piece will be clear because we're streaming right now on our desktop internet. We tried to stream with T-Mobile and it wasn't working for some reason, and so we just kind of went, well, we'll just stream it with the local network using our phone. And that's what we did. But I haven't checked our Discord yet. No, I haven't checked our Discord either. But uh, we'll check in a little bit, I think. Let me ask you a question, Lum. Since in a way you're kind of like an undocumented. Even if you got a couple 15,000 subs, you'll never be able to apply for the monetization. I know. Um, and I'm not sure how we can change that. I don't know either. I wish I could tell you how you could change that. Well, you know what else makes Michelle sound lost out though is her teeth. Yeah, that's true. The teeth, particularly the top ones, because they were made some time ago. They're extra thick, and we mentioned that on my show a lot of times. The reason we made them thicker was because we wanted to make sure that the teeth um, would not break easily. Like I mentioned, they certainly have been holding up to a lot of abuse. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know how we're ever going to get this channel monetized. We have our own email address. We have our own viewers. We have our own subscribers. We have our own mods. We have our own YouTube channel. I'm sure YouTube knows that technically these accounts are associated with each other, even though we don't have a marriage license in printed form. That's true. Well, Bianca, how you doing? That's why we had this on my chest. And then, I think it was designed for clothing. You think so? Yeah. Put it back on my chest again. Send me so hard to hear me now. Well, the audio was fine earlier, so shut up. So it proves this wasn't specifically designed for a car. No, even if it was designed for a car, it wouldn't work because the clip on it is too small to go over a car visor. The show tries not to scream at anybody. If you're talking about the Wednesday night of this week, I think they're talking about Friday. Oh, or Thursday. Friday was Friday. Okay. Michelle normally doesn't scream at her viewers. But Michelle loves Carmen so much. And Michelle was just getting so worked up and so emotional about Carmen. She loves me too, but I've already fought my battles and won. And Michelle, just like realized in some ways that Carmen, you know, really deep down wants to try to be a better person and try to continue to do good for the community. And so she's sat there and Mother Asna said to me, and I asked her, that she said she would find someone who would be able to help Michelle to uh, recover. But she told me straight up, Lumi, you got to get Michelle walking first. You can't start doing a dance if you can't stand. You got to get Michelle to keep moving. And I'm going to look into finding someone to help you. And so me and Michelle started to return to doing as much as we could. We live on the third floor. And first, Michelle was doing with Ed and his bullshit. And that was really debilitating Michelle because, oh, the way it was, no way it wasn't. It was because Ed was like, um, always acting like the taskmaster. Call Instacart, order this, order that. You know, um, Michelle wanted him to get out and do something too. And so, in a way, when Michelle was with Ed, he was kind of disabling her more so mentally. It wasn't until Ed finally decided to go back to Florida, particularly when Michelle was able to begin a full um, recovery emotionally from the trauma from Ed. But at that point, she was also ready to start doing more active stuff. And the first thing Carmen did was when she came in and introduced herself through the song "Chicka Chicka Boom Check," and then on the video on YouTube and on what she was playing it on her Silverman Radio AM 1610. And then later she watched the video with "Oh My Love" and "Rolla Ebola" um, from Weekend in Havana. Um, that's when Carmen introduced herself to Michelle. And when and Michelle recognized her as Carmen Miranda. After all, Michelle was looking for videos by Carmen Miranda. All right, so she came, she watched that, and Carmen, Michelle was totally enamored with her appearance, and the woman was there with a big blue tutti frutti hat, which wasn't bananas, but it was just um, fruits and Weekend in Havana, and she was like a deer caught in the headlights. It was like whoa, and um, and then Carmen spoke up to her. In her mind, she said, "You like what you see," and Michelle says, "Yeah, I like what I see. I was the one sent to you by Mother Asna to get you back on your feet so you can do that." And Michelle never did ask if it was Carmen, which it is, because Carmen herself said, "Do you know who I am?" "Yeah, the woman I'm looking at on the computer monitor." She said, "Exactly. We're going to have a lot of work to do. We're going to have to really, 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 really work hard." And so for 2 years, Michelle may not seem like a lot to some people, um, had been trying to become more limber and more confident of her walking ability, so that she could start doing more dances and dance steps and faster. But just like Carmen said this morning, make sure, and if you ever do take a fall, it's not the end of the world. But if you think you're going to fall when you're still dancing, slow down, get your bearings, and just take it easy. You're not in a competition. You don't have to prove to everybody that you're the best. Just do, the best you can do. We're not asking you to break your hip, which would have been pretty bad if I broke your hip. You better would be bad if you broke your hip. Bet no one needs to have that too. Yes, he was a bad drunk. Thank you very much, Naz. It was extremely abusive. But Michelle and Carmen did and do love each other. Okay, there is chemistry there. And it's not just teacher student chemistry. We're talking passion, and not just for the arts. And at first, on my birthday last year, I got some of Michelle's vino got to me, and I told you all what I felt in my video on my channel. It's the last one I did. from Silver Moon Radio. Michelle was so passed out she couldn't even do the show. I had to take over. I accidentally cracked the Rita Coolidge record by mistake. Sorry. It's okay. Not everybody likes Rita Coolidge. I know. It just um. Well, anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that um, I, for a while, took me a long time to get over my jealousy, and I talked to Carmen about it, and she said to me, "Lumi, Michelle loves you too. Michelle loves both of us. I don't want to be a homewrecker. I don't want to ruin your marriage. You guys have been married for 13 years. I don't want to ruin the marriage. I will back away. After we do her dance exhibition on her channel, if you want, I will go and ask for another job assignment if one is available for me." And she did. And then that Thursday, at the dance, she said, "Michelle, I have a new job assignment. And it was nice working with you. And I will always be your friend. But this man I'm dealing with has got some severe problems and he needs more help than you do." And so Michelle's heart in the bathroom crashed to the floor because she thought she'd never see her again. But of course she would, because Carmen never said I'd never coming back. In fact, it didn't matter because Michelle went back to eating lots of fats and carbohydrates and cookies and cakes and ice creams. She just noticed I didn't say any alcohol here. The really bad stuff, the food addiction that she has. And I felt bad. So to, I reached out to Carmen on the other side quietly, and when Michelle was sleeping, I said, we got to find a better solution to this for Michelle's sake. You and I and Michelle are going to be going to Silver Moon in the next life. I want you to continue to work with us if you choose. And she said, I tried working with that guy Richard. It's a disaster anyway. He needs a lot more stringent um, motivators to get him to work with his human earth support team is doing everything they can to get him to change. But he needs a spiritual advocate that I am not. You're saying you want me to come back. I said yes, because Michelle really does ever so much miss you. And she said, I'll ask Mother and see if that would be okay, if I can appoint someone else to take over, because I was going to put that in my file anyway, that Richard needs somebody else. She said, I've seen what's going on with Michelle. I don't want to see Michelle give up on everything that she started doing. She started making positive moves to grow and be better supported. And so she did. She talked to Mother God. She explained the situation. The man Richard got a new caseworker, spiritual advocate. And Then me, Michelle, and Carmen talked in the bathtub um, about the situation. I did tell Michelle that I did talk to Carmen, and she was very happy. Yes, I was very happy. And now Michelle is trying to get back to doing the things that she was doing to improve her abilities and to work on her weight loss because she wants to do things. Who am I to get in the way of somebody who actually helps my spouse to do things? Carmen also agreed not to try to push any kind of intimacy on Michelle because of our marriage, but she understands that Michelle is very special to me as well. We don't know what's going to happen to Silver Moon. Oh, I'm not going to cry. Oh, I'm a little stronger than that. I have asthma too. No, yeah, this is clean underwear. I forgot to put away in a pair of socks. I'm gonna put those away in a little bit. Good. You got some more underwear for tomorrow because the other one underwear's on the line drying. Yeah. Well, just like I said, Brian K. I'm not crying right now. I'm a little stronger than that. But Michelle does have legitimate tears. But in this case, um, I think there's more to the story than most people realize. I have fallen in love with Carmen too. We have done threesomes. Yeah, we have. We've done threesomes in the bedroom, on the astral plane, in astral projections, places in history, like Carmen's house. Yeah, in the swimming pool. That was the first time. It was different. You liked it. I did. Well, anyway, um, well, let's talk about something a little bit more exciting because we have another life coming up. We have another threesome life coming up. It will be three separate people after we finish our life chart, after we finish our life term here. We are going to go home to the other side for a short time. That we are going to take care of whatever we need to do there. But then we're all three of us are going to start new lives, being born as babies in Silver Moon. Now, I have no idea how it's going to feel to wake up with pointy ears. You wake up with these every day. You tell me. It's kind of hard to sleep sometimes. Yeah, because Michelle, you sleep on your back anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Um, or meet our new parents. We'll be three separate people, three separate families. Yes. There is a fourth person that wants to go, but she's not necessarily um, going to be going with us. But I believe she's already there. Yeah, Whitney Houston. Yes, she's already there. Um, from my understanding, she's already processing the paperwork to go with us. Um, as a fourth person And Carmen wants to continue her dancing, and Michelle does. And so the life charts were amended um, for Michelle to continue working with Carmen's dance troupe. And because we will not be married in the next life, Michelle and Carmen are more than likely going to have a relationship. You're going to have a relationship too. But remember what happened in the song Lumi Sadness. Did you update your chart? Or are you still stuck marrying that magistrate? Um, I did update it. I didn't know who to update it with. That's kind of hard. Why would you want to marry a rich politician anyway? Oh, I thought it would have been nice to have nice things. But he didn't love you. I know. He didn't love you. All he wanted was a trophy wife. Why would you want to marry a man and be his trophy wife? I I'm at a loss for words on that. Do you think you're not that important? That you just want to be some trophy wife for some rich politician? I thought I thought you had higher esteem than that. I really did. I'm surprised. I don't know, Michelle. I just thought maybe would have been better. But then when I did about a year ago when you were dancing with Carmen Miranda to that song, but the Victina tribute singer. Yes, well, really listening to real Victinas. Red Rose for Blue Lady. And you were twirling and cutting up the floor with Carmen, and I really was crying. I know. You watched yourself run into the ladies' room and crying your eyes out. And you on this earth were getting so mad at me, and we're actually getting ready to cry too. And like I told you, like me, I told Carmen in the dream to excuse me. I said, and I walked into the ladies' room, and I said, "What's wrong?" I married a guy. All he wanted me for was something to parade around the house and say, "Oh, she's my wife. Isn't she cute? Isn't she sexy?" You didn't. And Carmen came into the bathroom and I explained it to her. She said, "You, this is a warning. You have to change your life chart before you go because it's you sign off on that and you don't take the time before the deadline to update it. You're going to be stuck marrying that man and being miserable." And even when I got out of our dream session, Carmen told us the same thing. Change that life chart now for the love of Pete before it's too late. Yeah, I agree. So you see, guys, things are a lot more complicated in our world than a lot of you might think. No, it has nothing to do with the N word on the phone. No, I don't. I'm just going through this right now. Look at the messages. I'm not a god. I'm just an everyday person. So is Michelle. Yeah. Anyway, um, we didn't really have a lot to cover this morning. I remember when I interviewed Carmen a couple of months ago, and a lot of people hated that one too because they're like, "Why does why is Michelle being kept out of the chat?" And I remember that Michelle explained, "I wasn't being kept out of the chat because um, everybody was getting me and Carmen's voice mixed up, and so it was decided to just at the time those 6, 7, 8 months ago to just interview Carmen and not have Michelle here at the time to keep things less complicated. And then other people said, well, when is Michelle going to get her chance to talk about it? And that's what we're doing here. We're getting Michelle the chance to tell her side of the story. And already Red is saying all the stuff about how God works. You know, God is a mystery. We don't know how God works. We don't know how Mother God works. We're just the people on earth that do the best we can. We cannot second guess God. We can't second guess the Holy Spirit. That doesn't mean that, oh yeah, Michelle does have isolation, absolutely, which is something we can discuss. The thing that Michelle and Noodles and people that she's working with on her channel are trying to get me and Michelle to do is to get out to talk to more people. And we are doing that. We are going out places. We are talking to people. But sometimes Michelle's hearing and her Asperger's, which I unfortunately have as well because I share the body with her, it is hard. Well, Michelle's doing a lot better now than she did when she first started YouTube. She couldn't cope with the negative people when she first started out 13 years ago. Right now, me and Michelle have been doing this rodeo for 13 years. So we, as a married couple, and we have achieved a lot of success, which is great. And we should continue to work on that together. Let's not forget, Michelle has her support. She has her community. I have some of Michelle's community, but I also, like I said to Michelle a couple months ago, and I kind of reiterated this morning, I would also like to go out on my own a bit too and to have my own channel because no one really knows me. They know Michelle, but they don't know me. And so, for that reason, I really want people to get to know me and know that, well, me and Michelle do share the same physical corporal body, that I am also my own self. But sadly enough, like an undocumented illegal, I cannot have my own social security number or my own ID. And so I can't open up a checking account. And I mean, maybe there's an immigration lawyer that can make it possible somehow. Maybe there's some kind of a trick in the legal system, a loophole. But we don't have the money for that, so that ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna be. So kind of funny how the human version of these demons That's because we all share the same body. Well, we don't know how they would do that. You know, um, I'll leave that to your imagination. If we had the money to do it, and if the lawyer thought that he could argue a case, that would be very fascinating. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm just an everyday person, same as Michelle. Carmen, we have said this over and over again, does not live here. She is not a resident here. And everybody keeps saying, oh, Carmen lives where? She doesn't live here. She lives on the other side. Yeah, she does. She lives on the other side. As far as Michelle being isolated, absolutely, she is. Does Michelle have anxiety issues? Yes, she does. Does her hearing loss cause her to have isolation? Yes, it does. So if you're going to look at the problems Michelle does have, the real, physical, tangible ones, the anxiety is caused by the hearing loss. And the fact is that Michelle struggles to be able to hear people in the wrong situations when there's too much background noise. She can't hear nothing. Niels can attest to that. If too much background noise, too much stimulation, Michelle can't hear crap. It don't matter. You could put a bullhorn to her ear. It is not going to help because Michelle's brain is the part that fails to process the instructions. And so that makes it hard. So Michelle, at the suggestion of her case manager many years ago in 2005, 2006, I think it was 2006, okay, whatever, came up and said, when Michelle suggested YouTube, and she thought it was a great idea. April, which is her name, had no idea of the kind of people that Michelle would end up running into. If April, and that is her real name, and she does or did work for Winwood Residential Services in Torrington, she now is working with the office in Waterbury, had ever saw the kind of craziness on YouTube, I think she would have told Michelle to go to another platform because the trolls back then were just starting to warm up their tonsils and create the kind of craziness that they did to Chris Chan. Michelle didn't know anything about Chris Chan until someone suggested Chris Chan from I Found the Next Chris Chan. And then she, which was mentioned to her by R11H30, and she watched some of the Chris Chan content. And she was like, I'm not Chris Chan, but she kind of felt bad for Chris Chan because it was like she was watching a video where Chris how to connect her Commodore 64 monitor to the 1702, or Commodore 64 computer to the Commodore 1702 monitor. And she says, I plug in this cable and I'm not getting a video signal. And Michelle sent to Chris Chan in an email, that's an RF cable to connect to a television. You need the 5 or 8 pin cable to connect it to the Commodore 1702. That's the cable that has a DIN plug on one end and plugs into the back of the computer. It either has a black and white colors or black, white, and yellow colors. The black and the yellow go to the Luma and Chroma on the back, and you switch them on to the switch rear, and then you plug it into the 8-pin port on the Commodore 64. Chris said thank you to Michelle because Chris didn't know that she had to get the right cable. She was in her female phase at the time. I'm talking about Chris Chan. So Michelle does care a lot about the people with disabilities, and she wants to be a safe place for them. And when Michelle created her morning show during the big C, COVID, one of the things was she said, I want people to feel they have a safe place to come, a place where they could talk about things in their lives that are, going on. And that's what her morning show is. But also she would cover with some news. And for her, the show is great because now she is, you know, getting a chance to interact with people and talking to them, like Comedy Flu, Tiger Kitty, Gitchy, um, you Red, yes, you too, Brian K, and other people. And that's why she does the show she does, because she wants to reach out and give them a warm hug. She knows that there are many people, for a variety of reasons, that are isolated and would like to really have a place that they feel welcome. And that's why she created the channel. Um, Audio died. Oh, maybe my battery died. Ah, yep, probably my battery died. Can we switch this thing off? Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can switch this thing off. Don't think this thing was designed to run that long. Okay, that should fix it. Now, make sure it's not muted. Okay, I think battery in the microphone went dead. Um, but I didn't charge it recently, so probably, yeah, probably battery died on the microphone. Probably tiny anyway. Let me see if the sound is working now. Yeah. Um, yeah, allow me. Yep, plug the battery died. Can we switch this thing off? Yeah, it's working now. All right, so well, we can bring it closer. That's what we had. That's why I brought this in to charge this, so that I would have the microphone here. What I could do is bring the microphone. Let me see if I can charge this up a little bit on the battery bank. Let me plug this in, charge this. Just give me a minute, guys. Um, you might want to bring this closer to the. Yeah, I gotta do that too. Bring it closer to the. And finish the zoom out. I'm gonna bring this a little closer to me so you guys can hear me better. I gotta charge this. Keep it charged. I need to charge it here. I brought it closer to me so I can. We gotta keep this phone tablet charged too. We do. How is it charging on that? 70%. Oh, this is fine. It's this thing that needs to be charged. So I'll plug this in here, charge this. Okay. Yeah, alright, so this thing is only designed to run for about an hour and a half, and we already exceeded that. It's just a tiny little battery. It's just a tiny little battery. Yeah, it's not huge. Okay. I gotta charge this. Keep it charged. I need to charge it here. Brought it closer to me so I could. We gotta keep this phone tablet charged too. We do. How is it charged on that? Yeah, we have the dynamic microphone in front of us. This is connected to the other. Oh, right now it's not plugged in right now. The cable for it is on the floor. It's connected to the other setup. It's not connected to the setup that we have here. No, see, this is the reason that we need to come up with a better solution, long term. Um, Item and box subscription, shut up. Yeah. This is connected by Bluetooth. This was this little Bluetooth microphone. Is it charging? Or stop charging? There wasn't enough power to charge this. Oh, it's too low to keep the light going. Okay, so this is too small. This is too small. What I'm gonna do is let me plug this into the other USB charger in the bedroom, and then plug this cord back into the phone so that we can keep the phone charged. Just give me a second, guys. We'll figure all this out when we just go in here. What do you mean? Why don't we just take the phone with us? No, there's no reason to. They already know what you look like. Just let me plug this into the charger at the desk. My desk has become the landing pad for chargers. It has, unfortunately. Yeah, the desk is a landing pad for chargers. So, do I think today's show was a success? Well, yeah, I do. Stay focused. Oh, there's no reason to. They already know what you look like. Just plug this up. It's a charger at the desk. Well, first thing is, can we see the live screen? We are in a live screen. Not really. What? Oh, we are, but okay, there we go. Okay. Nobody bought me 1,000 subs, and you know what? Right now, they plug in the dynamic microphone is an option, and we can do that. There's only one minor mic. This has an XLR plug. I do have an adapter for that, and we can plug it in using my my iRig Pre, which would work fine. The problem is for Lumi is the iRig Pre is a bit of an annoyance because I can't get the phone charged at the same time. Can you? Kinda. You can get a USB-C adapter to allow you to charge and to run the microphone at the same time. Another Y adapter. Yeah, they're not that expensive. Oh, okay. big bird flu is about to hit. Um, that a lot of people. There are a lot of bots on YouTube. There absolutely is. A lot of repeat viewers. A lot of um, people that are got multiple accounts because there's a lot of competition to um, grow channels. And YouTube is becoming hyper competitive. And so people are not doing well without trying to compete and to do things that are a violation in terms of service to make a living on YouTube because of the competition. Yeah, it's really getting bad now because everybody's Michelle loves black people. She plays Virgo Goddess in World of Warcraft. Yes, I do. And Carmen Miranda was playing Carmen Miranda on Classic. Right? Oh wow, and was getting so fed up because she was dying all the time. And Carmen said to me, "Can you can I try retail and see how I would do?" She said, "I'm going to be a blood elf mage." I said, "Okay, sure." And I asked her, said, "Do you want to try Excel's Reach starting zone, or would you try the classic starting zone?" And she said, "What's the difference?" Well, I said, "I don't know if there's much of a difference. Maybe for you, either one would be good." So she played Excel's Reach in retail. She kind of liked it, um, but she also had figured something out before I did. For example, she can get on and off that gyrocopter and um, get better at hitting the intended targets. And she did it in half the time that I did. And I said, I never thought about getting on and off. That's an interesting idea that you get on, you slam a couple thousand of them, whatever, get off, go back on when he flies over, do the same thing again, boom, 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 boom. And she said, I tried to steer and I couldn't figure out how I was supposed to move with the trackball. I was trying to figure out, was I supposed to use the trackball or was I supposed to use the joystick? Or was I supposed to use the keyboard? I tried the keyboard and it wasn't working for me. And I tried the trackball worked fine, but I had to remember keep holding on the third mouse button to see what I was doing. And, and I said, so do you like this version or do you like the other version? She said, well, um, I kind of like this version better, except for a couple of things that I don't like. Number one is that because it's a starting zone, it's a training zone, um, I feel that they left a few things out of the training that I really would like to have seen explained better. Like they mentioned in WASD and how to look around the mouse, but um, some of the things like when you have died, click this to return the graveyard when they've already been resurrected. Makes no sense to leave that on the screen. I'm already alive. Why do I need to see that again? I haven't died again. And then when I did die again, I already knew how to get back out. So how was I supposed to click uh, the return to graveyard thing. Why would I need to? And she said, but I do kind of like it, but I kind of like classic too. But I wish I could change my class to something other than um, discipline priest because it's not really what I want to do. But they don't really have any characters that really matches the things that I want to do. They don't have a bard. They don't have dancers. You can't be a bard as a profession. And well, you're probably wondering, guys, if would Comedy Flu be a bard? Absolutely, I think Comedy Flu would be a bard. I think he would be in the taverns and telling stories, and because he's good at storytelling, and that's true. I think Comedy Flu would make a great bard. Um, are you just worried that Michelle might start? Is Whitney a No, Whitney doesn't live with us. She's going to Silver Moon on her own as a separate personally. She's not going. She's not. She doesn't isn't part of us. We already got enough to worry about. We don't need to deal with four. No, absolutely not. No, no, absolutely not. We're not dealing with four people. Whitney already said she was going independently on her own. She's already going to Silver Moon. She's already there. She doesn't even really know Michelle. She just said when she heard Michelle talk about Silver Moon to Mother Asna, she said, I want to try that too, because I didn't know that. I could ask to go to another place and try a whole other life in another dimensional plane. I want to try that. Because it's something that not everybody talks about on the other side. Is that some know you can go back as another dimensional plane, another dimension, another person, but some don't know that. Many of the more seasoned ones do know. Yeah, but when he wasn't one of the seasoned ones. Um, she only had like two lives. Um, so is crack, meth and crack do exist in Winstead? I don't know what all this stuff's about. Are you selling? No. That's such a disgusting thought. I'm not into alcohol. I'm not into illegal drugs. I tried. I tried Mary Jane. That's legal in Connecticut, and I I kind of like the edible version because as long as it's just a teeny bit, it's not so bad. Like 10 milligrams of edibles. But are you smoking a joint? I'm. I don't really want to put anything burning in my mouth. I don't care if it's a cigarette or a joint. I don't like putting burning stuff in my mouth. All right. So I do not like smoking because of fire safety. And so I tried it with Skynet and Winky, the smoking the joint, and I absolutely did not. I was always concerned that something was going to catch fire, and so that's why if I do use any more of the Mary Jane, it's going to be the edible form. Um, it's just easier. Vape, I know that's an option. What about when you caught yourself on fire from smoking before? You mean when I was in 8th grade? I said, oh, my mom is going to kill me. And my mom certainly got very pissed off with a hole in my pocket. She was, why did you put a cigarette in your pocket? Why didn't you extinguish it? And I thought I did. Should have ran it underwater. But then that'd be a soggy cigarette. That's true. It would have been a soggy cigarette. But then the housemaster wouldn't have gone after you. Go, aha! So you've been smoking, huh? Well, internal suspension for you. Which I accepted that because it was my fault. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, not something I want to go to think about. Unfortunately, that's not legal in Connecticut yet. Yeah, well, that's because it's not really burning. Well, no. A vape uses and I have, um, when I was at Justin's, me and Sherry had a vape as well. But I think it really was more potent than noodles. But actually, you guys burnt the real stuff too. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We also burnt the real stuff too. Um, but I was supervised so that we sure nothing bad happened. But I just prefer not to get involved too much with that stuff. If that makes any sense. And Michelle's a smart kid. Don't underestimate Michelle. As far as Michelle's anxiety issues, yeah, she's working on it. But we can talk about this real quick. How come? How come in the United States of America, mental health is not considered a basic need? Why is not basic need dentistry a thing either? So, I think in the case of the dentistry, was that the kind of people that were doing dentistry back in the 1790s in the dental school really would not be considered medical professionals. They were barbers. They were barbers. Um, and so people didn't see dentists with the DDS, the dental doctor of dentistry, as equal to a medical doctor or MD. There are some dentists that are dentists and MDs, and Medicare and Medicaid will pay for them. These are the oral surgeons. But routine, basic oral care, like cleanings and making partials, is not what an oral surgeon does. Okay? They're a specialist. Yeah. Now let's get to the mental health part of it. For some reason, Medicare Part B will not pay for mental health treatment. It could be that they see, or they did see at one time, mental health being a flim flam. And I don't know if that stigma has ever changed. I know when someone says to me, you need mental health, immediately I go very, very defensive. And I have to ask myself, why? Why does it make me defensive? And I think I know the reason. It's because of the horrible past treatment of patients in the mental health system. And I do know I do have anxiety and I do have some depression. But the treatments that are now recommended for mental health can vary depending on the patient, from counseling therapy to counseling therapy in concert with medication, which if like Dr. Peter Bregan, a Indiana certified psychiatrist, said in his practice, and I follow his kind of teaching, we leave the medication as a very last resort. Because first, it will just mask symptoms. It will not necessarily treat the underlying problem. If I can get the patient to open up to me and talk to me and feel confident working with me, I have found in a large number of my clients that I can treat their condition without medication. It is not an instant solution. It doesn't happen overnight because some of the problems go back very deeply and take time to untangle. But I would not recommend medication only, but I can see using it as a board certified psychiatrist. He said, I will use it to help a patient during the treatment with me as needed to help them stabilize. But it's just like any medication. It's going to cause problems or side effects to that. So you need to be careful of that. And as a prescriber, I have to be careful how certain patients react to certain medications. Um, he's one of the most down to earth men I have watched in the mental health authority, in the mental health community, as a professional licensed psychiatrist. And I respect him deeply for his honesty. His name is Dr. Peter Bregan. He is on YouTube. He is still licensed and still active in the medical field. And you can find out his license ID and look him up. He is registered with the state of Indiana, and you can look him up. Great channel, by the way. Dr. Peter Bregan. That's Breggin. He is a board certified psychiatrist and licensed in the state of Indiana. Let's go to the next question. It is time to get ready to wrap it up. It's kind of. I wish this heart wasn't here. The guy that just wants lots of clients with never ending therapy appointments. No, Chris, I did not. You know what? Let me say this. You had the Democrats in control for 4 years. How come in 4 years they were busy shoving money to other countries instead of helping the American people? Why were not the Democrats worried about our existing people's needs? They were so focused on giving money to illegals, but people that were born here and were homeless got nothing out of the deal at all. Nothing. No support. Why? Are you telling me that the Democrats are so great? Why did they not focus on our own existing homeless problem? Why were they giving money to other countries and allowing all these illegals, undocumented, to come in here instead of helping our own people? Do you see Joe Biden, and yes, Barack Obama as well in his term had equal opportunity when Democrats were in control of the House, the Senate, and the White House to do great things. They did nothing. Both were just basically sitting on their hands. We need to keep that in mind. You have control, I don't care which party you are, of the House, the Senate, and the White House. And you choose not to help your people. You're a fuck. You're a fuck when you can't even do that. And you are asking us to vote you in. And you give us promises. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix that. And yet, they do nothing. They do nothing. They do nothing. No, everybody thought the same thing was going to happen with Trump in 2016. Trump kept his promise. Trump kept his promises. Is he going to keep them again? I hope he does. However, every 4 years, we're going to find out who the good guys are. And we're picking lists. And we're making lists of who are the bad ones, right? We know who they are. We watched them for 4 years. We know Trump's got a good track record. Countries that were involved with both Ukraine and Hamas in Iran are saying to their people, hold on. Let's change our attack here, because maybe we can work something out peacefully, because this ain't working. But Biden wasn't talking to anybody. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Let's just see how it goes. Democrats, please understand. You benefited under Trump's regime too. You did. Your prices were cheaper on your fuel, your energy, your food, your housing. There were more jobs available to you before the pandemic. The American economy was doing good. People felt good. People felt prominent, like they have a chance to finally feel like something again. It was not Trump's fault about COVID. That just showed up. And that really messed everything up for Trump in the end. But even then, he was trying to keep on top of COVID. He wasn't just sitting there in the White House and not doing nothing. He had his press conferences at the beginning, trying to find out what's going on. They were doing almost every day. In November and early December, it was almost daily researching. What's the latest news? What are we finding out? So I don't think it's fair to give a man that we've already got evidence that showed in 2016 to 2020 that he did keep his promises. But Joe Biden, from 2020 to this year, and this year, 2024, had been doing nothing, despite the fact that he had a democratically controlled House, a democratically controlled Senate, and of course the White House. And he couldn't pass legislation to help us, the American people. So don't tell me that Biden was going to help me. He had a chance to do it. He did nothing at all for any Americans. Well, it is, true about what Biden is doing. So I would just say, I want to thank you all for coming to Lumi's channel. Yes, I want to thank everybody coming out. We got to get ready for Michelle's show on Silver Moon, AM 1610. And it was really nice to talk to everybody here. And I'm sitting on the couch Sorry, the microphone died on us. The battery is, well, it's small. It wasn't designed to last for more than 2 hours anyway. So, it wasn't meant for a 2 hour stream, hour and a half. I think it was pretty good. It lasted that long. Um, so, I just want to say that there's a lot of things in the world that you can learn about. Let's before I go. Let's just keep one thing in mind. In the spiritual realm, there are many mysteries that have never really been answered yet, and and we're starting to learn about them in research. We also are starting to see more and more of the veils coming down, and for those people who study the spiritual realms, we're starting to see new things, new in discoveries. And that is absolutely important to keep an open mind because the world is not the same anymore. The world has changed a lot. And I just want you guys to keep that in mind. I already got the appointment for the teeth. I'm on a waiting list. I already got an appointment for a therapist. I'm on a waiting list. I don't know. That's a good question, Chris. I can't tell you the answer to that. I don't know why 13% of the country causes the most crime. I don't know the reason behind that. But I'm sure there might be a way we can find out. Maybe there's some thing in the world that we need to find out. I'm going to keep my eyes open about that. And we know my eyesight sucks. But anyway, the point is, I'm sure there might be a reason that I don't know the answer to it, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't know the answer to it. Um, let's see what's the next question. I think it has to do with skin color. No, no. I don't think it's strictly a skin color thing. You got a lot of violent white people too, and you know what? They're part of that 13% you're talking about. I think I don't support the racism bullshit. I never did and I never will. I do love a black girl. I used to watch her tarot readings a lot, and I think she's pretty. But she has issues. So, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like her or have attraction to her. I did. I also used to know some local black people too, and I don't think color of your skin makes it matter. I don't think the color of skin matters because what does matter and is the what kind of environment you're growing up in because there is evidence that there's a lot of poverty in urban environments and people are struggling. But when Barack Obama and Joe Biden's administrations did nothing. Well, actually, Barack Obama did something for the black community. At least he talked about the hope and the dream. At least on paper he did. But Biden did nothing. He did nothing to help the black community. And so you get this people saying is, we want to get ahead. Oh, so what did Barack Obama do? I mean, what did Joe Biden do? What did the Democratic leaders do? Defund the police. Decriminalize shoplifting in some cities. Go ahead, steal all you want, boost your life by theft. And they did. The opportunity was made available. And the businesses in those environments, including Los Angeles and San Fran, said, we can't keep running like this. we can't keep going like this. And they closed up their shop and laid off their employees. In fact, the latest um, referendum vote regarding recriminalizing homelessness, I mean not homelessness, shoplifting of anything less than $10,000 passed in California because people realized that that was not the answer of decriminalizing shoplifting. So people are tried it the far left way and it didn't work. They tried. Just like Oregon tried decriminalizing all drugs, soft drugs and hard drugs, for 2 years. It's the utter dismal failure of it. It's a real thing. Um, so you can't say that the Democrats have necessarily done the right things because they've done a lot of stupid boners. You know that, right? Republicans ain't perfect either. No, they're not. Republicans do have problems. But right now it's a Republican time, so let's see if the Republicans can show a better report card, okay? Let's give them a fair shake. We worked with you under Barack Obama twice. I did vote for Barack Obama twice, in case you didn't know, because I didn't want to support um, McCain, and I didn't want to support the other guy who was running there. I know the guy, the Mormon guy, the Mormon guy. I didn't want to support either one. I didn't like McCain, and I didn't like the Mormon guy. Okay, so and they were Republican candidates. So out of calculating it, thinking about it, I voted for Barack Obama twice because I didn't like what Bush Jr.'s regime was doing, and I wasn't going to sit through another 4 years of that craziness. And I said, fine. So I voted for Barack Obama twice. I'm a purple party. I will swing vote if I feel it needs to be done that way. Did Barack Obama do any better? No, because even though he had the House, the Senate, and the White House under the Democrat control, they did nothing. Did I vote for Did I vote for Biden? No, I did not. However, it's like Barack Obama again. They had the White House, the House, and the Senate under his control, and they couldn't pass legislation for the American people. And so, what's the point of you have control and you can't help your American people, the ones who put you in office? Why should we keep you in office for another 4 years? That's what I'm going to get at. And that's the truth. He didn't do anything. You know, I bet they have been saying that since cars have been invented in an attempt to keep women from driving. Women don't necessarily make horrible leaders. But I'll tell you what, here's one thing that women have that most men lack. Women are more compassionate. Now, it's not entirely true, but if you look at the way a woman leader works, she rules more with her feelings, her heart, her spiritual heart, than just her brain. Remember, women are usually predestined to be mothers. There's the maternal instinct in every one of us, and we all want to show compassion. You can be the hardest nails like Margaret Thatcher, and you can be focused on supporting your country and being a tough leader. But I bet you a whole shitload of British pounds if you talked to her when she was not, doing what she had to do on Downing Street or when she was resting with her family. She was just as emotionally supportive and loving and trying to come up with legislation, talking about her cabinet, trying to say, you know, I want to get Britain good again, but we need to take control. But I don't want my people to think I'm just a hard case. It's something every woman has to deal with. Men don't give a shit. Most men just can't care. And a woman would. She's like, I don't want to be a hard ass and not have any lack of compassion. I gotta find the balance between the two parts, the logic, that bond, that proper level. You can go far. But if you get the mix wrong, you're gonna be a disaster. Okay? And that's the reality of any female leader has to carry that, into her campaign. So why did Kamala Harris lose? Well, for one thing, she was appointed by the DNC. She was not, didn't go through the full campaign approach of, getting the 100,000 signatures, start campaigning, putting money together for her campaign. She was appointed by the DNC when the DNC strongly felt Joe Biden was no longer suitable as a presidential candidate because of his failed, poor performance on the campaign stage. The same was true with Walz versus Vance. JD Vance. Now, Walz, the one thing that we can see in Walz is he's like a Joe Biden. A little bit more together, but definitely like a Joe Biden, okay? And then we find out that Kamala Harris sometimes um, doesn't really seem commanding. So, do I think she should try running in 2024? Yes, I think she should try running in 2024. Because, as I said, as a member of the Purple Party, I'm not against Kamala Harris running. I'm not against, I want to see more younger people run for office. Enough of the old farts, including Donald Trump. I love you, Trump, but seriously, after this term, please retire. All right? Please retire. I love you so much. I love you to death. But let your son have a chance. Let your daughter have a chance. Please. We need to get younger people in office. But younger people who understand the realities and the reality of what's going on in the world today. Not just somebody who's just going to sit there and promise the moon. The people who really can look at the situation from an analytical point and say, we need to fix that. We need to do this. But we need to keep these needs in mind. That's what I want to see. I don't care if you're a blue or red party or a green party. Maybe Jill Stein should have ran for office. I mean, she ran, she didn't win, but maybe Jill Stein would have been a good leader. Maybe if Jill Stein was to work with Kamala Harris in 2024, she's almost as old as Trump. Maybe it would be a bad idea. But on the other hand, maybe it might be a good idea. Politics is weird, and I'm not going to lie. But I think it would be wonderful to see in 2024 and 2028 how Trump does. I think he's going to do fine. He's got the support. He's got Elon Musk. He's got RFK Jr. No, I don't think Trump is. I don't think Alex Jones is going to be the press speaker. I'm not sure about that. I think he's thinking about appointing a female. Or maybe Alex Jones might be an option too. I mean, it's still on the table. I don't know. But the thing is, I'm not against the Democrats because of their ideology, strictly speaking. Because Kamala had 2 points in her agenda I agree with. And I've said this on my channel over and over again. Number one, get rid of private prisons. Get rid of private prisons. Get rid of the death penalty. Because the fact is, we've seen over and over again that the death penalty, the wrong people have sometimes died in most horrific ways. And then we find out later on they were innocent. You cannot, unless you're Jesus of Nazareth, you cannot bring the dead back to life. And you can't say to them, okay, bro, or okay, ma'am, here, I will give you a chance to make up for the years you lost. I will give you this Holy Spirit to make you younger, to make up for all those years when you were sitting in prison. We can't do that. Okay? I used to be pro death penalty. However, thinking about it, it makes no sense at all. It really doesn't. And I think that might surprise you. But, so I'd like to see, I'm starting to believe, how old is Donald? He's gotta be 80. He's 79. He's 79 years old. Right now. He just turned 80, I believe. He's just saying Joe Biden and him are on the same age. And he's still pulling his own weight. But unfortunately, it's starting to catch up with Donald Trump right now. Let's just hope and pray that his regime, his administration, does well. So Democrats, please don't be disheartened. It's okay. It's okay if you cry. No one's going to stop you. Because there are Republicans that didn't want Trump to win either. But they saw that compared to what other candidates he had in the primaries, they realized that he had what it took. If you are a Democrat and you're saddened because of the loss, let me give you a piece of advice from the Purple Party. It's okay. It's okay to grieve. But make sure you tell your leaders of your party to put someone in there that really is going to resonate with the people in a way that is going to be successful. Don't just appoint people like they did with Kamala Harris, okay? But rather select the person that is really going to help America at the time of the election. I want everyone to be happy, and I want to see the Republicans and the Democrats, we can work together. We are called the United States for a reason, and we need to work together as the United States for a reason. We may have differences, but we can work those out. So it starts with two people, you and the other person, to at least sit down and discuss their concerns and work it out. And that's the truth. Absolutely. Well, guys, I want to say thank you ever so much for watching this. Me and Michelle gotta get ready for Silver Moon AM 1610 on Kick. And I thank you all for watching. I know this wasn't exactly the most exciting show in the world. A lot of people know more about me. Stay subscribed. I don't have as many as Michelle does, but my channel is not as big as Michelle's because I'm not monetized. I'm not as afraid of upsetting YouTube as much. But I still would like to see more people come check out the channel. So for now, just to say one last time to everybody, thank you so much. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye.